Audio check. Hello. Hope. Okay, I see the green bar moving now. Alright. Sometimes NVIDIA goes through and changes all of my, what do you want to call them, default devices when it does a driver update, and I don't realize it until times like this when it's rather embarrassing. So thank you for pointing that out, WestJet. I greatly appreciate it. So let me just start over real quick. Michael here with Felicity, November 8033 Fox, Cessna flight training device that I built at home. I kind of need to say that as a disclaimer. It's not a real airplane. I am not a CFI or anything like that. I am a student pilot, and that's about it. So we have updated our Thranda U206 Stationair to version 1.2. We did that earlier today. We did that this evening, actually. And went through into, and I have to do this with every aircraft. So I went into PlaneMaker and removed the objects that interfere with my physical cockpit. So I think we've got it sitting and looking pretty good right now. All flight controls seem to be working. So our plan, we are, like I said, we're in the amphibious aircraft. I want to depart out of Kenai on a surface runway. Now, I'll be forthcoming and say that I don't know, I haven't done a whole lot of float plane flying, but here's what I understand about flying. If you're overweight, you're just not going to get off the ground. What I don't know, but what I'm assuming and what I'm taking into consideration for today's flight is that everything above the, what I will call your landing equipment, everything above that is going to remain the same as far as your weight goes. So your landing, your fuselage, your struts, your wings, just about everything above that I imagine is going to weigh the same. Your weight variation is likely going to come in with your your tricycle gear versus your floats. What I don't know is what that weight differential is. I honestly don't know. I'm going to take a guess and say that those floats are going to weigh quite a bit more than our tricycle gear. So that being said, we're either going to have to lose some fuel to make this flight, or not take some of our necessary gear. So I think we'll have to dump off some fuel. And as to how much fuel, let's just take a look at our route. Here's what I want to do. I want to head to Redoubt Bay first. I've never been there. I want to fly into Redoubt Bay and just check it out. And we'll try and land there on that body of water. I don't know anything about that area. Like I said, I've never flown there. I've loaded the scenery up, installed it. That's about it. I loaded into it, but as far as getting to there, this will be a first time for us in X-Plane, 11 or 12 actually. And I think the best way to do that is we're just going to cross the Cook Inlet and depart out of Kenai, just directly across the Cook Inlet, head west, and we will follow this big river up to Redoubt Bay, and then we'll land there. And let me rephrase, we're going to attempt to land there, and then we'll go ahead and depart. We'll follow that same river back out, and we're going to follow the coastline down. We're going to pass Drift. We're going to use Drift River as one of our checkpoints. Drift River is a private airport there. Just going to follow the coast down all the way until we get to this tributary right here that's unnamed, but it dumps off. Actually, it dumps off. It doesn't dump off. Crescent Lake drains into Cook Inlet. So a little bit about Redoubt Mountain Lodge. It is at the base of Crescent Lake, which is at the base of Redoubt Volcano. Okay. Very, very beautiful country, and I resided right here for a while as the caretaker of that lodge. My great uncle owned it, and there's a hunting, and not necessarily hunting, but a fishing retreat and guest lodge. And they were just like in most venues. They have a peak in on peak season, off peak season, that sort of thing. And during the off peak season, they needed someone out there to kind of take care of the place, keep the bears away from the septic tanks and generators, things like that. So that's what I did for a while. The only way in or out was by float plane. Although times have certainly changed. Still, the only way in or out is by float plane. But back then, there was no communication. I had if I wanted to talk to my mom, I would have to fire up a 10-meter radio and radio to an operator who would relay the phone call. It was very, very interesting. And lived off red salmon and king salmon, and it was a good time. It was a good time. So that's kind of our plan. Upon successful departure out of Redoubt Bay, we'll fly along the coast and head to Redoubt Mountain Lodge, and that's where we're going to stay. So ATC, I don't think we're going to have any sort of anchorage coverage online right now. We'll see. There may be a center online or an approach, but all the way up there, who knows? So let's head on over to the aircraft. I can't really discuss a whole lot of stuff about runway lengths and things like that, because we're not going to any typical airport, so I can't talk about NOTAMs, and I can't, we can't talk about the weather, but runway lengths, takeoff, landing, performance, that stuff we really can't, go over. But I think, like I said, back to our weight and balance, I think we'll go half tanks, half fuel tank, fill the tanks halfway. So each tank holds 44 gallons, that's 88 gallons of usable fuel, close to 500 pounds, I think. So if we half that, and we are 44 gallons of usable fuel, let me just pull up my calculator here. Okay, so if we have 44 gallons of usable fuel, divide that by 6. That didn't come out right. Alright, I want to times that by 6. So we have 264 pounds of fuel on board. Our aircraft, well, I'm going to bump it up a little because of our floats. I don't know if that's going to be as streamlined as our fixed gear. So we'll just say 15 gallons per hour cruise, which for that aircraft, that's probably about right. So if we have 264 gallons of fuel, and if we divide that, 264 pounds. Okay, so I need to go back to my gallons. So if we have 44 gallons of fuel on board, we divide it by 15. That's roughly 3 hours of flight time. 2.93 repeating. And if I were to plot this here, so let's see, we're here at Kenai, and Redoubt Bay. approximately 33 miles. So 33 miles, yeah, we've definitely got that. That might be a 20-30 minute flight, something like that. And that's, that's direct. Let's factor, so if we even go from Kenai, 22 miles, and if we go, we'll just approximate here, and then another 10 miles, so 32 miles total. Then we figure 10 miles back out, down along the coast, approximately 38 miles. And then we'll just say, I'm going to call it 15 miles. So we'll just say 40, 55, 65. So 65 miles from Redoubt Bay to Redoubt Mountain. So if we had 65, if we had 65 miles, and then we had, okay, so let's say our cruise is 100 miles. Our flight is 100 nautical miles total. And we have, let's see, 44 gallons, 15 gallons an hour, 3 hours flight time, cruise 130 nautical miles per hour. Can we make this flight? Absolutely, if we go half tanks. Alright, so we'll see how that factors when we get into and do our weight and balance in the aircraft, but I can almost guarantee that's going to put us well within our flight envelope. So if you're ready, I am ready. I just got to grab my knee board, and I will see you over at the aircraft. Also, yesterday we were having a bit of stream quality issues, and in other words, I might even call it a lag, because when I went back and reviewed the footage, today, I'm seeing a case, stutter, even after I thought I had it going well. So I went through and took a look around in the streaming software, and I bumped it up to 60 FPS, so hopefully that improves the quality. It was at 48, which I thought was kind of odd. I figured it would at least be 30 or 60, but it was at 48. So I bumped it up to 60. I don't see any dropped frames. CPU utilization's real good, so I think we'll be alright. So, alright, now we'll head over to the aircraft and do a walk around and all that good stuff. I'll see you over there in just a moment. Let's go.
Welcome aboard, Felicity. It's getting a little dark in here. So we are using live weather, and we are at least same day of the year, but I probably will be winding back the clock a little bit as the sun starts to set, because we have about 3 hours of daylight total in Alaska this time of year. And okay, I do enjoy how they kind of modeled the tie downs. So what you're seeing here is the result of me removing the internal cockpit from the aircraft. And I did this so that it would allow me to see, my wings and the top of my struts and my pitot tube. I am seeing some frost on the windshield. Looks like it's minus 6 degrees. So that's what you're kind of seeing here. We have the glass, but then we have the no object. But without the glass, if I were to remove that, then we wouldn't have these much needed, windshield icing effects in rain. But it's fine. It works for me. Alright, let's do a quick walk around. Alright. Tires look decent, no signs of oil leaks. Yeah, I can only assume that, with the retractable gear and the floats, I can only imagine as an assembly that those weigh quite a bit more than our fixed gear. So that's what I'm considering for this flight. Hopefully it's not the opposite. Well, I mean, if it's the opposite, I think we'll be alright, because then we're lighter than what I anticipate. Okay. Sits much higher. Let's start like we normally would. I think would be best. No baggage door. Elevator free. Rudder appears to be moving. Water rudder. Let's add water rudder in here to the mix. Okay, water rudder's up. Water rudder's down. Okay, let's confirm that operation. Water rudder up. Alright, that works. Let's check our cow flaps. Make sure those are working properly. Okay. Cow flaps open. Cow flaps closed. Okay. Alright, where were we at? So elevator and rudder were good. VOR antennas in place. So this aircraft's so shiny. Maybe that's why it's causing me a lot of FPS. It seems to be this aircraft. I wonder if I can reduce all these reflections somehow. Alright, ailerons free and true, free and correct. Let's get our lights on here. Pitot heat. Alright, green on the left. The strobe. Taxi, landing light. Red on the right with the strobe. aileron appears very incorrect. Yep, there it is, jumping back up. And with that exterior view, it really hit the FPS. I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. Alright, so I do want to thank everyone for coming in. We're on the ground here at Kenai. Exterior walk around, decent. Let's go ahead and get things started up here. For this flight, please keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the duration. Tack time is 0.5. Brand new. Fuel. Okay, let's do that real quick. Alright, this thing has its own unique weight and balance. Go here, go here. Alright. Left wing is 22 gallons, right wing is 22 gallons. Let's put me and you. And of course we're gonna need some gear. You and I weigh the same, just FYI for purposes of this flight. Tell you what, and let's go ahead and put 80 pounds of cargo. And that puts us a total takeoff weight of 3475 out of 3,500. Alright, let's one second, let's dump a little more fuel. Alright. 3428 out of 3,500. We have 18 gallons in each wing. So that's 8 gallons. We lost maybe 30 minutes of flight time. We'll be alright. Alright, we'll save that. Weight and balance. Got some rain moving in. Give me just a second. I'm gonna switch over to my task manager, make sure there's nothing else running that shouldn't be here. It really must be this plane. Though the rain's probably not helping. Alright. I'm gonna test a theory. I'm let me clear all my weather real quick, then we'll get back into real world weather. Alright, so possibly a combination of both. Let's bring our live weather back in. Yeah. Just think the clouds are hurting us right now. I'm sorry. It'll be flyable. Maybe not for VATSIM, but we're not necessarily gonna be on VATSIM. Well, kinda wanna be. Let me see what I can do about this real quick. Here's what we're gonna do. Just 'cause we wanna see things. Alright. So we've got winds, temperatures, pressures. It's cleared out some of the heavier stuff. Let's go ahead and get connected to our... Oh, we are still connected. Well, if we were still connected, I wonder why I wasn't disconnected for an FPS issue. It's odd. Alright, a little bit about Kenai Municipal. We wouldn't be taking off from there. What do we got here? 202 right and 20 left. Okay, alright, we'll be alright. Yeah, we'll be alright. It's gonna be 133. Actually, we can just leave this up. Alright, let's get started up here. Let's get scooted up. Avionics are off. Autopilot is off. AC is off. Cal flaps open. Okay. Mixture's gonna go for rich. Prop is high. Brakes on. Master. Beacon. Clear prop. Just clear on the left. Clear in the right. Clear in front. Edmund, hello. Welcome. Max to start. Alright, we're gonna try this one again. Clear. And that's what it was. I hadn't cycled my fuel pump switch since I updated the aircraft. So I'm assuming that the fuel pump selector was in the off position. So, and since I have already removed all of my interior, pretty much most of my interior objects. Welcome to the stripped down cockpit. Pretty much all of my aircraft are like this. Um, Simply because I don't need any of the extra stuff. Okay, M. Stein, welcome. I've increased my streaming software to 60 FPS, so hopefully the feed is a little bit better than it was yesterday. I went and looked back at that, and I wasn't very pleased. It was very choppy. Oh wow, they've added a waterway since I lived up this way. Okay. We are here in the ramp. Let's see, where were we at? Put our landing light on for safety. Oil pressure is good. It's coming up. Let's lean out just a little bit. Okay. Start checklist is complete. We'll move right along to our pre-taxi checklist. Seat belts. Bear with me. Gotta redo another audio thing. I know this happens, but I keep forgetting every time I update NVIDIA that it changes some of the default audio things. Okay. Flaps are up. Avionics going on. ATIS 133.35. Let's see if we can get anything there.
Runway 02 left, wind 030 degrees at 13 knots, visibility more than 10 miles, sky conditions broken at 9,700, temperature 0, dew point -15, altimeter 2959, advise on initial contact you have information uniform. Kenai Municipal Information Uniform 2050 Zulu arriving runway 02 left, departing runway 02 left, wind 030 degrees at 13 knots, visibility more than 10 miles, sky conditions broken at 9,700, temperature 0, dew point -15, altimeter 2959, advise on initial contact you have information uniform.
Uniform is current.
Kenai Municipal Information Uniform.
Okay, 20 left. No. 20 right. Yeah, well, we're using 202 right because she has no idea that the NOTAM's in effect that 02 left. Or that, yeah, 02 left was closed. So we'll be using 02 right. We'll be taxiing via Lima. It's like Lima, Juliet, Lima Alpha, Bravo. Think I'm gonna announce that? Nope. Well, yes. Because we're at a Delta. Let's see. Normally, I would not announce a long taxi call like that at an uncontrolled field. At a controlled field, we will, even though we will be on Unicom. So, what was that again? Kenai traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot is type Cessna 206 at the ramp. Going to be taxiing runway 20 right via Lima, Alpha, and Bravo, Kenai. Okay. Heading indicator to compass. That looks good there. Brakes, we'll test on the roll as well as our attitude indicator and turn coordinator. And run up, we'll do that at the end of the runway. Let's go. Park and brake off. Brake test. Don't hit that light. Wind is blowing that way. Okay. Alright, she was right. What did I write? Okay, 02 left. I was looking at 020 left. Alright, we're taking 02 left. Kenai traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot. Correction, we're going to be taxiing 02 left via Lima Alpha Foxtrot. Kenai. Alright, there's Lima. One thing I need to test is my anti-icing. Alright, that's working. I know it's working because I got a voltage drop when I turned it on. Papa Alpha Echo November is the airport code WestJet. It's Kenai Municipal. That's a lot of right rudder. I'm gonna have to keep in here to. So right now my rudder's at full deflection to keep the aircraft going straight. I wonder if that gets any better as I put some power in. I hope so. Almost down to Foxtrot. American Gecko Lover, we're in Kenai, Alaska right now. Kenai traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot is taking 02 left. Gonna be making a left downwind departure, Kenai. Strobes going on, nav's going on.
Approaching runway 02 left. Enter runway 02 left. 7,700 feet remaining.
Alright, here we go. Full power. $60 knots. Let's see if we can rotate. Okay, we've got positive rate. Gear up. Okay, this is going to be important. I'm sorry to do that, so I need to pause here for just a moment and make sure my gear is up. Yes, gear is up. Okay. Very important, something I wanted to confirm. Oh, someone just landed at Kenai. On the closed runway, or we did a touch and go, one or the other. I did forget to set my altimeter before we departed. I've got it set now. Kenai traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot, turning left crosswind, 02 left, Kenai. That's really cool. The ropes are just kind of dragging behind us. Kenai traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot, left downwind, Kenai. I think it's a good thing. I think it's excellent modeling. You know, they seem to be going with the wind, so I think that's a pretty cool feature. And we're heading right into the sun. Okay, I want to plot an approximate course to our U206. thought there was a way to turn off those window reflections. You know what? I think my desktop mic still be maybe on. So if that's the case, I'll turn it down a little bit. We'll check it when we land. I think I had it on when I was putting the other yoke in, because I had to disconnect the panel. And I think I may have forgot to turn it back off. Alright, let's get back on course 226. Cruising along 1,500 feet. Theoretically, I should probably go ahead and climb, get a bit higher over the water. There's a Victor route that takes us right there. 220 degrees from the Kenai VOR 107.6 220 should be outbound. And that'll take us right to our inlet. How about that? Isn't that fancy? What in the world is that? That's an aircraft carrier. That's cool. Excuse us while we go buzz an aircraft carrier. Bleed off some of this airspeed. I'm assuming that's an aircraft carrier, if not a floating vessel of sorts. Alright, altitude 200. Alright, let's not get any lower than that. That's just a freighter. That's a warship. Probably a freighter. That looks like a warship. Back on course. Back to altitude. It's not it's not an aircraft carrier. Frigate, okay. Like a helicopter pad? I didn't necessarily see one, but that's not to say I didn't. I'll get back up to maybe, you know what, we're just gonna hang out at like 1,500 feet, because I just remembered I have floats on this plane, so if something were to go awry, we are over water. Alright, hoping to recapture my VOR when that happens. I'm going to turn back to my heading of 220. There's that island. And I really can't wait till X-Plane gets this bug worked out here. You get this water issue phenomenon when you run displays of multiple resolutions. The other thing I'm going to try and do once we land is figure out how to get rid of these reflections. May not be able to. Version 1.1 had an option to get rid of the window reflections. I don't know if they did away with that in this version or not. Oh man, we totally missed going to Redoubt Bay. About face. I was heading straight to Redoubt Mountain. Yeah, because I was looking at it, I remember, I was thinking, looking at it earlier, like I didn't see that Victor route before. So now I know why, because I wasn't planning a readout direct from Kenai. So we'll flip around here, we'll shoot up to Redoubt Bay. We didn't lose much. We should be alright. WestJet, buddy, thank you so much for that resubscription. Greatly appreciate it. It's always a pleasure. Alright, I see our inlet. So we're gonna follow the big river up. Looks like it's gonna fork to the left and then fork to the right. So we'll take our left fork and then the right fork from the inlet up here. Let's climb up to 2,000, level off there. We're flying along at 1,700 like there's nobody else out here, but well, let's get up to 2,000, at least keep it even. M9, you may be correct there. I mean, I will not fault the woman whatsoever. Simply because she's in her 70s. You know, she knew better, but she'd never done that before. She's an exceptional pilot. You know, yeah. Those construction workers just happened to be under the bridge that day. Alright, cylinder head temperature a little over 200 degrees right now. Oil pressure, manifold pressure, oil temperature looks good. Let's go ahead and lean out a bit here. We calculated about 15 gallons of fuel burn per hour. I was burning about 17. Wanted to bring that back a bit. Alright, here's our big river entrance. River traffic, November 8033 Fox, just east of the field. We're going to be heading up to a big river to Redoubt Bay. Okay, so the fork in the left and then the fork in the right. Hopefully my girlfriend gets off work and hops in here and joins me again. I do want to thank everyone for coming in and experimenting and experiencing our float plane, our new float plane this evening. And then as we depart out of here and head towards Redoubt Mountain Launch, I'll tell you a bit of a story once we get out that way. Okay, pitot heat's on. I want to make sure my pitot heat was on. It's minus 3 degrees right now. Alright, here's our first fork, so we're going to stick up to the left. Oh man, my airworthiness certificate fell down. Need to get a new piece of tape. I do see the bay. I do have visual on the bay. I don't know exactly where the lodge is, but we'll find it, I'm sure. Make sure it's gonna go full rich again. I'm gonna pull the power back, put my pop back in high. Redoubt Bay traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot is inbound, gonna be landing north, Redoubt. see if we can land this plane. Okay, flaps 10. Altitude 500. Airspeed 90. Altitude 400. Okay, flaps 2. Airspeed 90. 85, 80. Put some power in altitude 250. Altitude 200. 70 knots. Altitude 150. 100. Power, power. Oh, hard landing. Oh. Alright, are we in the water? Did we hurt something? Hey, we're still afloat. Alright, let's put our water rudder down. That was the problem. I can almost guarantee it. I wonder if it even works now. Our water rudder was down on that landing. Well, seems like it's working. Alright, so this is Redoubt Bay Lodge, looks like. The corporate pilot died. Welcome back, my friend. We have finished installing our new yoke on the right side. We are now experimenting with our Stationair 206 on floats. We've just landed in Redoubt Bay area, Alaska. Gonna take back off and head over to Redoubt Mountain Lodge, where I used to be the caretaker at. We're gonna land there. So welcome. Hope corporate jet life out in Cincinnati is treating you well. So, alright, good to hear. I'm assuming that this lodge is also owned by the same owners who now own Redoubt Mountain Lodge. Alright, looks like they got a couple docks to come out into the water. Tell you what, I'm gonna make sure that, take a step back here, make sure our water rudder's working. Okay, so it in there, but it's still working. Corporate pilot, you have yourself a wonderful evening, sir. Take care. Always a pleasure. Alright, let's get out of here. The lodge is available on the xplane.org store, or not store, but forum. Check it. Just I the I'm a, I'm assuming whoever did the scenery's been there. Um, I want to check something here. I'm assuming whoever did the scenery's been there because some of it was pretty accurate. The thing that bothers me the most is the roof colors are totally totally inaccurate. But I suppose that's a caveat. Alright, rudder's working. Alright, how do I get this thing to go straight? Let's get those flaps up. That might have been what it was. Flaps were keeping me from... Alright. Redoubt Bay traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot, departing the area to the south. Redoubt Bay. Alright, looks like it's up on the step. Let's get one skid up. And... Oh, no! No! What the? What the? Well now. My bad. Alright, let's reset here. Alright, we're all cleaned up there. And okay. We need to disconnect from there. And let's go ahead and reset. Let's see. What if I can just reset the aircraft? Without it changing our location. Alright, I think that worked. Alright, that worked. We're still here, up right now. Only opposite of where we were. Okay. Expediting startup, master, beacon. Make sure they're rich. Looks clear. Max start. Avionics. landing light, taxi light, strobe light. Still just wants to spin me around in a circle. Oh. Okay, we'll put some aileron control in. Why didn't nobody tell me this? Alright, let's try this. Let's get a little bit more water. I wish I knew what my winds were. Alright, let's try this. We're just gonna pick it up, step over this way, and then we'll spin around. Okay, let's try this again. There's Redoubt. Redoubt Bay traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot, departing the area of the water to the south. Redoubt. Full power. Alright. There she's on the step. I should have had that water rudder up before I even started to step taxi out of there. But we are airborne. Alright. Off to Redoubt Mountain Lodge. Alright, there's our river. 2,500. Let's get up to 2,000. Oh, you know what I forgot to do is check that microphone. Yeah, so there's some reading up I want to do on seaplanes in theory and operation. But at least we were able to take off, so I know at least we did some weight and balance correctly. I think. GPS go? There's the coast, so we'll just follow that down along. What's weird is when I reloaded the aircraft, it defaulted back to the original panel and it swapped my GPS back out. Let's see. Reload the aircraft to do that. Drift over traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot is going to be overflying the VO 2500 drift over. That there is Redoubt Volcano. Very, very mildly active. Alright, and then there's Drift River down there, Drift River, Alaska. Here's where we're going. This is an old 35mm panoramic photo. There's me back in the day. Yeah, that picture was taken in a de Havilland otter. I really love it up here. But you need to be careful which one of these little tributaries you take, because some of them will get you in some places that it is very difficult to get out. Alaska has a very unique rule when it comes to automobiles, and I thought was very interesting. But if you're on a 2-lane road, drive through the mountains, and if you are driving slow enough to accumulate 5 or more vehicles behind you, then you need to pull over and let them all pass. The other law is that headlights are mandatory 24/7 up there. It's a very neat place. I mean, I'm driving along, see, we call them doll sheep, but you know, mountain goats just up there on a mountain. Just yeah, if you're picturing a mountain goat standing on the mountain, that's exactly what you'd see. One, two, three, 4. Do I need to cross 4 rivers? 1, 2, 3. I need to take the 4th river. There's 1. Let's not climb too high. Looks like there's a lake down there we could use if need be. A lot of little private airports have popped up since I was up here. Here's our second river, and we need the fourth one. Looks like we got about 10 miles to go till we get to our turn-in river. Well, other than my botched couple of takeoffs, I feel like the amphibious plane flies just as nice as the tricycle version, the Thranda 206. And this will work out perfect. We'll land here. As we're flying in, I'll start telling you a bit of a story. But we'll land and then we'll chit-chat for a bit. I can't be flying too late this evening. I won't say I can't be. Probably shouldn't be. Alright, so we got cabins depicted on our VFR sectional here as a landmark. Let's see if they're modeled. Arch NDA, hello, welcome. Wait, did I do something? I've done a lot of things lately. I might need to elaborate. But it is Valentine's Day and I don't want to keep my girlfriend waiting too long. I'm too late. She got off work and she gets off work at 9 and I know she was going to take a shower after work. She may hop in. I don't know. We'll see. Steep turn. Hey, yep, they're down there. How about that? Well, that's cool. So far, so good, I think. We're in the amphibious 206. My first takeoff from water did not go so well. But once I figured out the aileron correction while in the water, it seemed to work out a bit better. Alright, here's our tributary that we're going to take up to Crescent Lake. It's gonna be this one right here. Flying with Mike, coming in with the raid. Welcome, buddy. Welcome, Raiders. Hope you had a good stream there, Mike. Appreciate the raid. Whether it's 1 or whether it's 200, the sentiment's always the same. Greatly, greatly appreciated. So welcome aboard, Felicity. Alright, Redoubt Volcanoes just off to our nose there. There she is. Hello, love. You can come in and finish out the rest of our flight. We won't be 2 months longer if you want. 2,500 feet? Yeah, that should be plenty high enough. 2,500 feet? Yeah, that should be plenty high enough. 2,500 feet? Yeah, that should be plenty high And we're going to need to take the fork to the left. So, the river is actually flowing south out towards Cook Inlet. So the salmon swim from the inlet up. I wonder if I had too much of a flare in that last landing too. Maybe you don't need to flare a whole lot in a float plane. That's something I'm not sure of. Alright. Got a low fuel indication in the left tank. I'll switch over to the right tank. She's looking at new large hooks for crochet. Okay. No worries, though. Are we going to read out Volcano? let's go higher. For what I want to show you. And to get back down, we'll probably be doing maybe a couple of spiraling 360s. This glacier that you can see, kind of see right there, is this glacier right here. Alright, I'm gonna tilt my right strut down, kind of slip it. Go ahead and take note of this island right here in the middle of the water, just past my right wing strut. Alright, remember that, just kind of notate position that island in your mind. But anyway, I hiked up to that glacier. Took a day and a half. Alright, there's the island. We're going to be making some tight 360s, that's for sure. Make sure the ridge prop full. So the river flows this way. So as we're flying, well, technically we're flying upstream. Same way the salmon run. So when I was at the lodge, in front of the lodge is the boat, you know, what I call the boathouse, to where it kept all the paddles and oars and extra engines and things like that. Anyway, we had a I suppose I should explain a little bit. Two different types of propulsion for the boat motors up there. One is a typical propeller that spins under the water. The other one is utilizing sort of like a jet fan, and that's what it is. It's a jet, a big blower, essentially. And for just a second while we make this turn. Hang on, steep turn to the left. You know, the rivers they're pretty shallow, so we didn't really want to, you know, take one of those spinny propeller motors up through the you know, upstream where it's pretty shallow. Redoubt Mountain launch traffic in November 8033 Foxtrot at the south end of Crescent Lake, and correction at the north end of Crescent Lake, going to be landing south, November 8033 Foxtrot. Alright, water rudder's up, landing gear's up, everything's up that needs to be up. So anyway, we had this jet engine in the boathouse that just wasn't working. There were a couple of them there that weren't working. always been kind of mechanically tinkering. So between 3 inoperable uh, jet engines, and they were manufactured by a company named Evinrude, which to this day I would never ever purchase ever again. Give me just a second here. So anyway, between 3 inoperable Evinrude jet engines, I made one of them work. Oh man, this thing was great. I threw this thing on the back of the John boat, fired it up. Give me just a second while we touch down here. 1,000 feet. Elevation here is 599. Let me put this plane down here. Now I'll finish the story. Alright, 900. Airspeed's 80. $700 times 10. About 100 feet above the water. We got an acceptable one that time. Alright, water further down. Okay. So, there I was, giddy as a schoolboy. Had this jet engine going. I was hammered down, up Crescent Lake, upstream. I got about 150 yards up the river, and this motor, it just frickin' stops. It just dies. I'm dead in the water. Nothing. I tried pull starting this thing and pull starting this thing, because that's what it was, the pull start. I got nothing. So I'm 150 yards up the river on Crescent Lake. You know, it is 1995. There's nothing there. I'm up there by myself, and there's no cell phone. You know, the 10 meter is all the way back in the lodge. So in my excitement, I forgot to put the frickin' paddles on the boat. So there I am, 150 yards upstream. Fortunately, the current is pushing me downstream, back down towards Crescent Lake here. And so, yeah, so takes about 30 minutes for the current to get me down from 150 yards up to the mouth of Crescent Lake here. So I'm all the way at, I'm like all the way here. Okay. So, and I died, motor quit right around here. I drifted down to here, and here I am just kind of hanging out in my little dinghy, which I'll show you. It was one of these little things. It's a little John boat. So I'm in this thing, all the way up here. I'm dead here. Yeah, right here is Mama Bear and her 4 cubs. So what I ended up doing from way up there, I pulled the top of the motor off. It's almost like a bucket kind of thing. It's like a cover almost. And now I'm using that thing as a freaking scoop. And I'm scooping myself from the west end of Crescent Lake all the way down to the island that's right about there. Which is the island's right here. Which is, I'm gonna have to maybe do a custom elevation model for that little island, kind of improve the scenery a little bit. So I get to this island with my Evinrude motor lid scoop. I shore the boat, hop onto the island, and lo and behold, what do I have here but a hollowed out log that's on the island. Alright, great. We're going to use this thing as our makeshift paddle. Yep. Got back on the boat, pushed myself up, put that thing in the water, gave it one of these, and then I'm just holding the top half. So, there I am, my scoop, scooping myself along Crescent Lake, one scoop at a time. For maybe 25 scoops and before I'm taking a break. I'm so... words cannot describe everything that was running through my mind at the time. So I get to, let me step it up here just a bit. I get to maybe right about there. It's where I had no more. My arms were jello. I was done. And at this point, it's dark. It's Alaska. So I ditched the boat and I shored the boat and pulled the motor off the back of it, put the motor on the beach there, and flipped the boat over me and bunkered down for the night. One of two things was going to happen. A bear was going to smell me, and at that point, who knows. But my hope was that the boat would keep me protected, but alert me of any sort of, something I needed to be aware of, like a bear. So, where am I at here? Not quite there yet. Come morning, I walk the shoreline. Walk. Well, I'm not gonna say morning. Come whenever I woke up, didn't have no watch or nothing, didn't know what time of day it was. But when I woke up, I walked the shoreline all the way back to the lodge. Grabbed myself another boat, pulled the other boat back. Here is the, can't really see the top of it, kind of a picture of a picture. That's where I kept the trash. Kind of keeps, keep it up away from the bears. Several otter in the area, and a bear right there. And that's, I'd catch these salmon, I'd cut their heads off, throw the heads back into the water because the bears love them. The other fish eat them. There's the island. There it is, right there. So yeah, that was a climb in and of itself to get up there to try and find a log to use. Grass was grown on the roofs of the cabin to dampen the sound of water hitting the metal roofs. For the amount of money that people were paying to come and stay, and they didn't want to be woken up by the rain hitting the metal rooftops. So grass was actually grown on the cabin roofs to soften that sound. There's another, that's looking west of Crescent Lake, more from the lodge area. That's where I actually had to ditch the boat. That's where I camped overnight. That's from the shore. And I've got lots of other pictures of Alaska, just not on here for your viewing entertainment right now. So yeah, again, there's me and the de Havilland back in the day. Yep, and there's where we're going right there. Okay, so let's approach it from the other end. And we'll get Redoubt Volcano in the background there. So that's my only gripe, is the color of the roofs that they used on the cabin objects. I really want to reach out to them and be like, hey, do you mind if I modify your object slightly for my own personal use? But not something I do without their consent. Okay. And the footprint is not accurate either. I guarantee you that where the objects are placed here is not accurate placement. It's close. It's not accurate. It's good. Trust me. It's good scenery and well worth the download if you're looking at this type of flying. But when you've lived there, you tend to be a bit more nitpicky. want to try and get it at an angle where I can kind of duplicate this picture here. Not going there yet. Need to go out. Go out wide, huh? Come back in. Because I took this picture after I came up the river. Caught myself a 55-pound king salmon on an ultralight reel. That was a fight of my life. Yeah, there we go. That looks a bit better. So Redoubt volcano is the snow-covered one, right there, directly in front of us. Flaps up. I'd really love to get back up here. Alright, let's see if we can find a spot to dock our plane. Alright, there might be one over here. I see another plane over here. Alright, let's go ahead. We're gonna do a little bit of experiment and see if we can taxi out of here. I see a little bit of an opening. Gear down. Welcome to Redoubt Mountain Lodge. Yeah, I want to redo this. I ought to reach out to him, see if he'll let me redo this. Come on, come on, come on. Get up there. Alright. Let's hop out for a minute. Take a look around. Alright, so we know we can taxi out of the water. Now in 11 this was almost impossible. I want to see if this was fixed in 12. But before we do that, we're gonna hop out for a minute. Alright, let's see. So there should be a rock. Okay, that's gonna need relocated. The main lodge looks alright where it's at. But the trees, I want to update the trees, use some new 3D trees. I mean, it's for what it for free. I'm not complaining. I'm just being a little bit nitpicky. Probably shouldn't be. But yes, there is a totem pole there. There is a flagpole there. See, and they could have added some of this stuff. I know that for a fact there wasn't a hot tub there. So let's see, generator kept right back here. So there would be a little outbuilding right about here. My cabin was the furthest one back, and I had a kill rope, not a kill switch, but a kill rope. It's about 50 yards long. But it ran from my back door of my cabin all the way to the generator. That way at night I could just open the back door and pull on the rope, and it would pull the kill switch for the generator. So yeah, definitely check out the scenery, download it. Let's see if I can tell you exactly what it's called here real quick. There's Redoubt Mountain and Bay Lodges 3 Alpha Kilo 5 available from the explain.org store. So, and there are some third-party libraries that you're going to need. Alright, real quick, I'm going to jump off of here. Let's see if we can taxi back into the water. We're just going to kind of hit these objects. I just want to see for... Alright, they must have fixed that. That's awesome. Alright, outstanding. Gear up. And we'll go ahead and turn us back around here. Just park us. Shiny. Okay. After landing, flaps up. Cow flaps open. All strobes off. All of our lights going off. Pitot heat off. Transponder. Okay. Avionics going to off. Master lean. Maxed off. Master to off. Outstanding. While we're here, let's take a look here real quick. Okay. Enable 3D panel edit mode. It's not what I want. Wait, I'm gonna reload the aircraft because I don't know why it swapped. It swapped my 530 back out. So let's reload this aircraft real quick. See what it looks like. And then we'll head back to the FBO and chit chat for a minute. see. Okay. Activate. That's what I want. Please save panel preset. See, and that's what I did. I've already done that. And then reload the current aircraft and art from the development menu. Try it one more time. I see that it's got a carbon monoxide detector. Alright, we're back in business there. Alright. See you back at the office. Actually, I'll see you in one of these cabins, probably. Instead of the lodge right over there. See you there.
Now who's cheeky?
You are.
You are.
Oh. So yes, my desktop microphone is still active, it seems, with the cockpit. So let me just disable that. Well, that was fun. I really enjoyed that one. I hope you all did too. Definitely a lot to learn about the float plane, especially primarily takeoffs and landings. I think we did all right flying it. I do want to thank everyone for coming in and hanging out on this Valentine's Day evening. The Virtual USA Flying Club was having an event tonight as well. So I kind of had to make a tough decision. Free time's rather limited, and I did want to get back up to Alaska. So thanks everyone for coming in. Let's take a quick recap here of what we did. Took off out of Kenai. Started to depart west and came across a frigate in the water. Went down, checked that out for a little bit. Headed up to Redoubt Bay Lodge. We got a pretty rough landing on that one. Came in with the water rudders down. So something that's just gonna have to add into the flows. I'll have to make a separate checklist or an addendum checklist for the float variant. And I know that there's one that they provide. So we took off out of Redoubt Bay. The second attempt, the first attempt was a crash and burn. And then back down to Cook Inlet. And up to Redoubt. And then on to excuse me. Man, I'm so sorry. And then on to Crescent Lake for Redoubt Mountain Lodge. That's it. I want to thank you all for coming in and hanging out. Hope you all had a good time. Yeah. Probably won't see you again until next Monday. But until our next regularly unscheduled flight, hope everyone takes care and stays safe and has themselves a Wonderful time. Edmund Stoner, thanks for coming in and hanging out. WestJet 1450, always a pleasure. Emma Stein, great to see you again, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Flying with Mike, thanks for that raid. Arch NTA came in, said hello. Corporate pilot dad showed up as well. What do we got there? First time chat from American Gecko Lover. Thank you for that. Yeah, I think that's it. Pretty fun stream. Pretty fun flight. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Hope the quality was decent or better than it was yesterday. Should I bumped it up to 60 FPS? I don't think we doesn't say that any frames dropped. So hopefully it did all right. Yeah. Let's see who we can send you off to finish out the rest of your evening. I'm going to send you over to my friend Melvin Leroy, who's still on the Virtual USA Flying Club event. So you tell him I said hello, and you all take care and stay safe. And we will see you on our next adventure. Thanks for coming in.